This program is brought to you by realestate.com.au, Australia's #1 address in property. With more properties for sale than anywhere else, we make it easier.
Thanks for your company here on Business Now. Let's take you through the results from the weekend auction markets. And look, again, they were pretty firm across the country. 1,361 auctions. The national clearance rate came in just a tick over 64%. Now in Sydney, 537 auctions, and you can see the clearance rate is just above 66%. There are also a further 1,387 private sales across New South Wales, so that's pretty strong. In Melbourne, 478 auctions. It was quieter there. The clearance rate above 68%, though, with a further 975 private sales. In Brisbane, there were 69 auctions, that's all. The clearance rate above 53% with an extra 956 private sales across the state. In Adelaide, 37 auctions. The clearance rate there, 73% plus 302 private sales. And in Canberra, 49 auctions and a clearance rate above 71%. And Flaherty is an economist with REA Group and joins me now. And many thanks for your time as always. Again, it seems pretty strong, but the volumes really right across the market are pretty slim right now, aren't they?
Yeah, we have seen a bit of a slimming down in the number of properties for sale. We are, though, heading into the school holidays and that typically quieter winter period. And we know that people often prefer to sell just before or wait until after the holidays. So I think, in a couple of weeks' time, we might start to see those figures tick up a bit.
Okay, so we talk about, interest rates and the impact on housing markets in particular, but it's not the only real estate market, of course, that is affected by interest rates. It also goes to retail properties around our big cities and our suburbs, wherever it might be. And clearly, interest rates have an impact on consumer demand and therefore potentially on retail property as well.
That's exactly right. And the retail sector has, really had a tough time the last few years. We saw the pandemic, particularly for businesses located in CBD markets. The loss of foot traffic from fewer office workers really took a toll. We saw vacancy rates rise across the cities. What we're now seeing, though, is encouraging. We're seeing a reversal of that trend. On realcommercial.com.au, we've actually seen a really strong uptick in businesses specifically looking to lease retail space in our CBDs. So this is the opposite of what we were seeing a couple of years ago. Well, even last year, we were seeing more and more businesses increasingly looking in suburban areas. So I think that the return of population growth in our cities is really helping restore confidence for these businesses.
So that's an interesting thing, the washout post-COVID. And of course, there was all that support around for many businesses. But what you're seeing now is that there's an increase in the inquiry, which almost runs contrary to the expectations that higher interest rates are subduing the retail demand. But of course, what we're seeing is a lot more people back in stores and potentially, proportionally, fewer people doing their shopping online.
Yeah, well, we have seen a bit of an undoing of that increase in online spending. Of course, it's much higher than, where it was. But even if the average person spends a little less, if you've got more people in the city, that's going to support sales. So as our population particularly grows, and particularly with new migrants who are more likely to rent space in or around the CBD, that's increasing the foot traffic. And what that's doing is it's increasing the pool of potential customers and really helping to, helping recover that, loss of foot traffic from fewer office workers.
There's another thing about this as well, with the rate of tourism back to about 80% of its pre-COVID levels. That means that you've got increasing foot traffic, which is heavily retail oriented in terms of spending. And that also is going to support it. So it's not just people going back to CBDs. It's also then not only migrants coming in that is increasing, but it's also then just the amount of, casual travellers coming through the place that are adding to the spending.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And we know that overseas travellers in particular are most likely to stay in CBDs. So Sydney and Melbourne being very, very popular with people coming from offshore. And what that's doing as well is it's supporting the luxury retail sector too. So, we know that when it comes to people stepping into those luxury retail stores in our CBDs, half of them at least come from overseas. So the China market in particular is a really, really strong driver of that sector here.
Yeah, it's certainly one of those things that we have covered over a period of time, just the enormous resilience of that premium upmarket retail space as well. And Flaherty, always good to chat to you. Many thanks for your time today.